Hi folks, and welcome back to another 5-Minute Friday here on Meaningful Money. Thank you to Ian for asking this question on email this week. Ian, thank you so much, and I hope that this answer satisfies you. Ian asks if he can pay into a pension for his wife, and specifically, can he pay unused annual allowances from 2 or 3 years ago for his wife who doesn't earn a salary? So I thought I'd answer this in today's 5-Minute Friday, so let's put 5 minutes on the clock down here and let's crack on. So how much can you pay into a pension? You can pay up to 100% of your net relevant earnings into a pension, or £40,000 per year, whichever is lower. So if you're earning in excess of £40,000, then you can put in 40 grand. If you are earning less than 40,000, then you can put in 100% of your salary. Now, I use the phrase there, net relevant earnings. Gotta love a finance industry technical jargon term. Net relevant earnings, for the purposes of this, simply, it means earned income. So not interest on investments, not dividends paid by shares that you own, not rent from any property, not pension income, but earned income in the true sense of that word. So salary from work, profits if you're self-employed, all that sort of stuff. Earned income. Now, if you don't have any net relevant earnings, you can pay up to £3,600 per year gross into a pension. That's £2,880 net of basic rate tax relief. So you write a check for £2,880 and the revenue make it up to the £3,600. That's basic rate tax relief. So you can pay into a pension even if there's no earnings. If you're a high earner, that means if you're earning more than 150,000, then that £40,000 annual allowance, that maximum you can pay in, is reduced by £1 for every £2 you earn over 150 grand. So that simply means that if you're earning over 210 grand, your annual allowance is squashed down to £10,000. That's the lowest it can go. Worth mentioning, although it's way beyond the scope of this video and we'll never get it in 5 minutes if we go into this, is that there is a complex calculation if you're a seriously high earner, something called adjusted income and threshold income. I'm not sure I fully understand it myself, and certainly you don't need to. If that's going to be a problem for you, talk to your accountant or your financial planner. Now, Ian was asking specifically about carry forward. So what is that? Well, carry forward is the ability to use up the previous 3 years worth of annual allowance if you haven't already. So first you have to use up this year's annual allowance, and then if you have more money that you want to put into a pension, if you have unused annual allowance from previous years, you may be able to use that by using carry forward. So remember, you have to use up this year's first, and then you go up to the 3 years ago and you use that year, and then 2 years ago and you use that year, then last year, and once you've used all that up, then you've used all your carry forward from this year and then the previous 3 years, and it has to be done in that order. Now, Ian's problem is that his wife, who he wants to pay into a pension for, doesn't have any earnings. And so because she doesn't have any earnings, she gets the £3,600 a year she can pay into a pension, and he's done that this year and he did it last year. Can she use carry forward to use the previous 2 years that they haven't used? And the answer is no. Why? Because she doesn't have any earnings. You can only use carry forward to bring forward unused allowance from the previous 2 years if you have enough earnings in this year to cover it. You are still limited by 100% of your earnings in this year. That's the maximum you can put into a pension. So given that he's already paid the $3,600 into a pension this year, he can't use carry forward because she just doesn't have the earnings to cover it. Now, it's a little bit different if you're a business owner and the company pays into a pension for you. That's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. But Ian, I hope that's answered your question. The answer, unfortunately, is no. In your situation, you can't use carry forward to pay into a pension, pay more money into a pension for the missus. Sorry about that. So, annual allowances, carry forward, all that sort of stuff. It's not as complex as it sounds, but there are some nuances you need to be aware of. Thank you for watching this week's 5-Minute Friday. Hope you're enjoying these. I'll see you next week.